The Bluegrass Burnouts YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over our top 5 paint schemes from week 3, 2026 at COTA. Cody, I'm going to start us out here. Now, this wasn't the best week for paint schemes, but it wasn't the worst one either. Definitely enough to make a top 5 right
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
But this is definitely one of those weeks that it's a little bit more forgettable on the calendar, unfortunately. But still had some good schemes. For my number 5, going with Michael McDowell in the Cat's Coffee Chevrolet. You know, when you do a lime green and black scheme that is not a Monster Energy car, it's always tough. I think they did a good job with it. It looked good on track. The only thing I don't really like about it, and the reason why it's in my 5, is I understand that that's probably, like their logo in the back right, but with the wheel well, it doesn't really work. I don't know why they decided to go with that in the back of the car on the quarter panel, but it still looks good overall. I'm not going to let that one little decision kind of ruin the whole car. But it looks good, though. Not the best, not the worst, but that's why it's at my number 5.
Yeah, absolutely. My five, I've got Jesse Love in the number 33, the C4 Energy car. And first off, the colors on that, it's just super vibrant. It's super easy to notice on track. And I think that was a big part of why I liked it was it looked so good on track. But it also just, the logo's nice. I love the way that they incorporated kind of the mango vibe.
Yeah,
Obviously, you've got the mangoes on the car, but then you've got the like little the underlying images it takes up. It kind of eliminates. We talk about this a lot. The empty space
it
gives you
does.
some kind of image that you're looking at, but again, it's just super vibrant. I think they really just. I think the logo and everything just fits super well, and yeah, man, this is just a good scheme overall.
And that is why that is my number 4, Cody.
There we go.
And you have said just about everything I can say about it. So we'll go on to your number 4.
At my number 4, we're moving to the truck series. I have the number 2 of Carter Farouche. And this one was one that honestly I didn't see until we were going over the paint schemes right here. But I just love the vibe here. Like the Italian flag on the bottom, just the logo, like that font is just super cool. And I love the way that it's got like the little flowers and the plants and the leaves. There's a shrimp on the bottom of it. Like
Yep.
just the little images here and there that gives it flavor. Like honestly, it gives it a little bit of spice and it just sometimes you can talk about like the color isn't very exciting, but I think it's those highlights that make the color. Like you can
Yeah,
have a bland color if everything else surrounding it improves off of that. And also it just kind of it looks like a cutting board.
it
So
does.
like you
It's
think
a little messy
Italian,
for
you
my like, but it looks
yeah.
amazing. The Italian flags, like you're saying, it looks great.
It's definitely one that's like it's kind of here and there. Like I could understand why some people might not like it, but I love this thing and I honestly wish I would have seen it sooner because this thing
Yes.
rocks.
Yes, that one would have been my honorable mention if we would have had an honorable mention this week, to be honest with you, because I did
All
have
right.
that one.
Hey,
Did
we'll
have that
take
one. I
it.
had 6 picked out.
That is a win for the two team.
Exactly. My number 3, I'm going with the 96 in the O'Reilly series, Anthony Alfredo, with the protein rice treats car. Now, it's a little basic, it's a little gender revealy, with the pink and the light blue, but they do a very good job of eliminating that empty space like we always talk about. The colors
Absolutely.
work really well together. You actually have like the physical like protein rice crispy treat behind the number. Works really well. They are very good at including like the other sponsors in there. So, he's got the Dude Wipe sponsors obviously in there,
Absolutely.
which
Gotta have the dude wipe
yeah, you
sponsored.
got to have that one in there. But it looks good. It looks really good. Again, a little gender revealy. I saw people online being like, "Oh, this is such a girly car." Like this is a diecast that I
Shut
would
up.
buy.
First off,
This is
shut up.
Yes. Like
No,
this
just
is a
shut up.
die cast that you would like give to a kid. You know what I mean? Like if like a
It's
kid that's
just
like
a
racing on the
yeah,
floor. Like this is one that you like, it's probably not going to be very expensive to buy. You buy it for your kid and he just plays with it. But this is a
absolutely.
great looking car. I really like it. That's why it's my number 3. It looks fantastic. I love the Rice Krispie treats on the side too.
Yeah, I will say this one was just outside of my top five. I think my only issue was I wish it popped a little bit more. I wish
That
there
is
were
too.
some I wish there were some highlights, like the number, it just kind of blends.
Yes.
And I would, partial part of me wants to say a deeper blue and a brighter pink. But obviously you're going with the logo of your sponsor. So I understand
Exactly.
that. But I just wish they would have put a little more highlights in there, maybe try and clear up some of the space at the front. But overall, it's still a good scheme. So absolutely, absolutely love putting it where it's at. At my three, and this one might be a little controversial, I have Carson Hocevar in the number 77.
I don't disagree. It looked good.
And let me just say this, the reincarnation of Dale Earnhardt in this car right here.
Oh,
When I
dear.
saw this
Oh,
thing
dear
for the
God.
first time, I went, oh my God, they did it. You've got the white on the bottom, the red stripe, and then black.
And
It's
the red number.
literally, it is Dale Earnhardt in the 77 Chili's car. And first off, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I'm a sucker for a throwback, 1000%. And even though this isn't really a throwback, I still like that aspect of it. But that aside, this is just a great scheme. Like, black is so clean on a race car. It's
If it's
so
done
hard
well.
to mess up. And also the Chili's car, the Ride the Dente, the little like the little plants with the chilies, like the vines
Yes.
strung around it. Like, first off, the Ride the Dente campaign is already one of my favorite things. Chili's, I love you. Please give me a triple dipper. Sponsor us. I'll do anything for you. I love you.
Dear God. Dear
But
God.
dude, I love me some Chili's, man. But this car is just it's hitting all the right parts of my brain. And the Chili's car last year got talked about a lot. Like, the commercial played all the time. Carson ran it all the time, and the even the fire suit. And they made that slight adjustment to the fire suit of making it black instead of white, and it just makes it. God, it. I really was curious how they were going to improve on last year's, and going from white to black knocked it out of the park. Knocked it
Yes.
out of the park. This thing is gorgeous. It just wasn't enough to get into my top two spots.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. My number two, Cody. I'm going with a scheme that we do see quite a bit, but it is one of those ones. It's a classic. We see it a lot. I love it though. That is Lane Riggs in the number 34 Ford, Long John Silver's Ford. It looks so good, dude. I mean, the
It
yellow on the
always is.
front,
It's just a classic.
the yellow on the front, the blue in the back, the little white stripe, the Long John Silver stuff, the lettering, it looks great. The Love's logo already being yellow fits really well into the sponsorship on it.
Absolutely.
The number, they have like that like metallic looking number with that slight black outline. It looks insane. You have the little white on the top. It all works really, really well. And this looks so good, but I did think there was one more this weekend that was better than it.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there. At my number two, I have Kyle Busch. And let me just say this. That baby rocks. This scheme, I don't expect a lot out of RCR when it comes to schemes. They've been killing it this year. Austin Dillon's primary, obviously we've already talked about it. That thing is gorgeous. But this right here, this might be my favorite scheme of the year. And that's weird to say considering it's at my number two. But genuinely, this thing rocks. First off, who doesn't love a good root beer? But also just the way that they did it, like the wood grain on the back and the front, how it changes colors of the wood, and then having the bubbles of the root beer. Like, oh my goodness, this thing, it may not pop immediately. You may not see this and go, oh, look at that thing. That's sick. But when you look at it and you kind of take the time and notice, this thing has so much intricate details. It's like I said, with the wood, with the foam, with how everything is placed. Like, the only thing that I can say that's a bad thing is the little zone logo at the bottom is a complete eyesore on it and doesn't match at all, but it's so small that I'm not truly worried about it. but this thing is just, first off, I want to try it. That's the big thing for me is I want to try this bad. I've got a couple months ready to go, but this will be in my shopping cart when that time comes.
Yeah.
And yeah, this thing it gives you interest in the sponsor. It is just designed really well, and it just looks great.
Yeah, it
Like I
does.
said, we don't think about RCR as a big paint scheme team. They're off to a good start this year. I loved this thing.
Yeah, yeah, they are. And all right, we are back after some slight technical difficulties. Just very
Slightly.
slight. Just very slight. But what we were talking about was our number one paint schemes, and mine is the one that Cody just mentioned, Kyle
Yes,
Busch.
sir.
It looks good. It looks fantastic. There's nothing really much else that I can mention. This is a great looking scheme. They killed it this week, and this might be my favorite scheme of the year so far. But we will talk about that more in a few weeks when we do our top five from the top five.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, Mitt. And I really did kind of struggle with putting that at the two. Like I said, it genuinely might be one of my favorites. However, if there's one thing on a race car that I am a sucker for, it is the goddamn red, white, and blue, baby. Ross Chastain and this Bush Light team,
It looks great.
they, they knock it out of the park often. We've already talked about them once this season. We've already talked about them twice. They're just normal paint scheme, and last week they ran the Wendy's scheme. Like this team is one of those teams that you would consider to be a paint schemes team.
Yes.
And this one absolutely killed it. I love how right behind the number under the logo, it looks like a star. Like it has the different gradients of light to dark. Like it's coming out from one point, the stars going across it, the color of the number and just how it pops super well. The logo taking up just the right amount of space. You've got the mountains like always. And then you get to the front, you've got the logo, and you've got the little the horns like just parked right there on the front of it. I think that's just a great little touch. And it's just, man, I truly am a sucker for that red, white, and blue on a paint scheme. It's just that at least when you do it effectively. Because there's
Yes.
ways to do it for sure where it's just like throwing colors on there. This looks like every piece of it was done purposefully. It was done with a reason. It was done with meaning, and I love especially like right with the number where the number is, how it kind of just looks like a unfinished brush stroke.
It does.
Like that like little detail goes from having a bold color, just having it be one color, to giving it a little bit of life and giving it a little bit of flavor. And this one team is so good at giving their paint schemes that little bit of flavor. And God, I love this so much. It looked great on track. If only they wouldn't have lost a wheel right towards the end of the race. But man, this thing is just gorgeous. I can't overstate how much I love this paint scheme. It genuinely did pay me to put the 8 at 2,
But
but
this
this
is
thing
understandable.
is just, we had two heavy, we talked about it at the beginning. We didn't have a lot this week. We had two heavy hitters this week. And man, they just knocked it out of the park.
They
Knocked it
did.
out of the park.
They did. And I struggled to put that one on there, Cody. I love that car. It looked great. And I knew you were probably going to have it on yours. I didn't expect you to have it your number one, to be honest with you. That's why I didn't include it. Tried to get a little more variety in there. But the past few weeks, I mean, I think last week, we had the same top
First two
three.
weeks. But
Yeah.
yeah, last week we had the same top three. The first 2 weeks we've had the same top one.
Yes.
Or the
So,
same number one, not top one.
yes. But that's just,
Hey, we got some variety this week. Got
yes,
some
we had some
variety.
variety. We've had some variety. I love the red, white, and blue on the cars too. I mean, I literally have an Uncle Sam shirt on right now,
Yeah, man.
which is fantastic. But that is it. Cody, you have anything else for any of these paint schemes?
Man, no, this is just, like I said, we had some heavy hitters this weekend. Obviously, as the season goes on, we're going to get less attention to detail. Not attention to detail, that's not exactly the right term. I believe we're getting Alex Bowman is getting a new scheme next week. So we hopefully they kill that and we'll have another one to talk about there. But as the season goes on, there's going to be less and less new stuff. So it's super cool to like get those heavy hitters right at the start where you're trying to pop, you're trying to make a statement. And man, some of these teams are making that statement. I can promise you.
Yes.
Super excited to see where we go from here.
Yeah, very excited to see where we go for the rest of the year. But this has been the Bluegrass Burnouts YouTube channel's top 5 from week 3 at COTA.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you guys for watching. Subscribe. Let us know how we did. And you guys have a good rest of your day.